Should you be playing forgiving wedges? Is there any real benefit to you as the player? Well, today we're going to find out. Putting a very forgiving wedge, the Callaway CB12, hollow body construction, perimeter weight in, all of that jazz. We're putting that up against a Vokey, so bladed style wedge, not really any inbuilt forgiveness into it to see, is there really any benefit to the player from a forgiveness standpoint? Testing across the face, heel strikes, toe strikes, you know how we do it, in-depth forgiveness testing, and on a good data set, is there going to be any difference in distance, launch, spin? Can we really see any difference at all putting a very forgiving wedge up against a bladed style wedge? Hitting a 50-degree wedge full shot, and then later some partial shots with a 56-degree wedge as well, using a Pro V1. And as always, if you love our in-depth, incredible content, please do subscribe, edging towards 50,000 subscribers, and yeah, we need your help to get there. So if you do enjoy our content, please do me a favor. It's free to do so. It takes probably less than a second. You just got to click a button. It's down there. Go and smash subscribe. We really appreciate it. Okay, mate, start off with the Vokey. So we've got a sort of off the rack SM10 5008F, so kind of gap wedge. We're just leaving with stock shaft to the S200, stock length. Obviously playing 50 degrees, 2 degrees flat, both of these will be playing. So, you know, more of that bladed style head construction, no hollow body, no massive perimeter weight in. It's kind of not designed for forgiveness. It's designed for precision, right? So it would deem to be a slightly less forgiving wedge. So let's hit a few with this baseline set and see what we get. That sounded good. So 105 we thought would be a pretty good, yes, that's probably a fairly perfect strike really in terms of height, about 8mm low, pretty damn solid, and around 9,000, kind of where we thought it would be on a pretty good contact, pretty good strike for your speed and your delivery. 105 carry. All right, we know you're hitting a little bit of a pulley one today, very slightly closed, but that's why we're aiming you a little bit right edge of the green. Yeah, 31.5 launch, 9,000 spin, carrying 105.
Yeah, that sounded good as well. That felt nice.
Yeah, I mean, fractionally heel side, but still pretty good. I mean, spin comes up slightly to 9.4, carry 102. So yeah, sitting in around that 31, 32 launch and 9 to maybe 9.5 spin on a good contact so far.
Yeah, and that's an interesting one, because if anything, that's slightly toey.
I mean, again, it's done very well, isn't it?
Really well, yeah.
Yeah, well, slightly toe, but not too bad. Again, strike height was pretty good. Again, we see a similar thing. 31 launch, sort of 9.3 backspin, carrying 103. So his last 3 shots have been 105 carry, 102 carry, 103 carry, all slightly different strikes, but all spinning in and around 9,000, 9,300, 9,400. So getting very consistent numbers, which is exactly what you'd expect from a Vokey.
Yeah, super consistent, really, because there is some difference in those strikes.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
it's doing a very good job though. Yeah, probably fair average. We hit about 15 shots there. Some varied strikes is probably fair to say, but I think that's a pretty fair average. 30.5 launch, just over 9,000 backspin, carrying 102, standard deviation front to back 4 yards. Spin deviation 644, which is not great, which is you, not the club, in all honesty. But
yeah, just different strikes, isn't it?
Yeah, inconsistent, right? Yeah, that's a good fair average. So let's jump into the CB12 then, mate. So a little bit of a different look, isn't it? A bit chunkier.
Yeah, definitely a bit bigger, isn't it? Sort of head style is very different, big, chunky, obviously confidence inspiring. The sole is like really, really wide.
You're right. I mean, very different head design now. Hollow body construction. The 12 stands for 12 grams of perimeter weighting, strategically kind of positioned, as they say, to increase MOI. So hollow body, perimeter weight in, much bigger head, like far more geared towards that forgiveness, right? So let's see if there's any difference in launch spin, distance, front to back, and then afterwards we'll try and get some sort of mishits on purpose to try and see if there's any drop off.
Felt good.
Yeah, nice. 102, good. And in fairness, again, maybe a tiny bit low on that one. Not perfect, but pretty good. Carried 101. 31.8 launch, 9,300 backspin at 101 carry. I mean, that, yeah, not dissimilar to what we were seeing from the Vokey, is it?
No, certainly haven't given anything away on spin, have we?
Not at the minute. That sounded pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. It's probably one of my better strikes, that one with this club.
Yeah, again, maybe a mil low, but still pretty good. 31.7 launch, 8 backspin. So maybe seeing a hair less spin with this, I would say, but it's nothing dramatic, is it? I don't think you're really going to see a mass difference in stopping power out on the course from that. And again, 53 descent angle, plenty of height, plenty of descent angle, still with in and around that 9,000 spin. So yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, that's close.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit toey, but pretty close.
I mean, that was pretty good. Like I said, tiny bit toey, but not a bad height on the face there. 10 mil low. Probably one of the better ones we've had. And again, you know, Vokey, we were seeing 9 to, I think, 9.4 in and around that region. That one there, spinning at 9,100. Again, Vokey, we were seeing launching around 31. That one there, 31.5. Carrying 105. You know, Vokey was carrying in around 100 to 105. Not dramatically dissimilar, is it?
No, I feel like 31.9 is probably about where we are in a good shot.
I would definitely say you're having a harder time making good contact with that, though.
It feels more, I know that the size of the head and stuff is probably there to help, but for me, it actually feels more cumbersome.
So the interesting thing in a minute, whether you want to do it or I can do it, I don't mind, but we'll do some, we'll try and get some comparable mishits heel toe to see if is there any difference in forgiveness, because I would actually argue for the vast majority of amateurs, obviously depending on ground conditions, someone who delivers it like you can be a bit lofty, can be a bit shallow, you know, don't hit down that much and take off too much loft. Having a big, chunky, wide sole, it's probably not going to be great for sort of turf interaction and strike interaction. And I think that's where we're seeing you struggle more with this, strike-wise, than the Vokey.
Yeah, timed that one quite nicely.
Yep, pretty good, mate. Getting around that sort of 105 carry, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, that's like a representative good shot for me. Good strike, good number.
Against one of them that it didn't sound as clean as the last one, but it wasn't bad. Spin drops slightly to 85, but not dramatic. Launch comes up fractionally. So it probably is marginally higher launch and lower spin than the Vokey, isn't it? Like marginally, but it's not dramatic, I wouldn't say.
And I know what you're saying about the sound. It almost sounds to me like, I mean, that's 9 mil low. I don't want to be hitting him much lower than that, but that sounds almost chunky because there's so much interaction with that back edge. After you've hit the ball,
doesn't sound
all you can hear.
Yeah.
You know, whereas if you think there's, you know, almost half the amount of sole on the Vokey, it's clipping the ball, and because you haven't got that kind of drastic interaction, you don't hear it, so it sounds cleaner. Yeah. Which on the course, I'd want to hear that clippy sound from a wedge.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I know they've tried to. Obviously, there's quite a lot of sort of trail edge relief on there, isn't it? Where they've almost tried to sort of round it off.
Yeah, they've sort of angled it to try and help it. Yeah, definitely.
Still, you can feel it there. That it's set up. You can feel it there. Like, and if you're shallow, like you are at times, you'll be able to feel it in that turf interaction. And I don't think it would be great. And yeah, if we put those into the average compare, I mean, you can see their dispersion's identical, isn't it?
Yes.
Front to back, both 4 yards. Left to right's the same. That's all delivery. We know. Carry's the same. We were getting, like we thought, a hair more launch from the CB12, a degree, and a hair lower spin. And those two things are generally tied. If we see a little bit higher launch, we'll probably see a little bit lower spin. But ultimately, the end result in terms of the peak height, the descent, the stopping power, the carry yardage, really, you're not going to notice an out-and-out difference in performance on the course with a good shot with those wedges. You know, and you delivered them pretty consistently as well. I mean, head speed, identical. Dynamic loft, identical. Face angle was pretty much identical. Path, identical. Angle of attack, fractionally more down on the Vokey, but less than half a degree. Strike, very comparable. Maybe a mil lower with the CB12, but for a human test, I mean, that is a very, very good sort of fair comparison, really, isn't it? And I feel that's exactly what we were seeing in the testing. So out and out performance, yes, a little bit lower launch and a little bit more spin from the Vokey, but not dramatically. I'll throw in there, I actually did this test myself before Tom started hitting, and I found identical launch and spins between both of them. So I don't feel there's a big difference in out and out performance. So I guess the big question is there any real forgiveness difference between them? So we'll try and get a couple of comparable mishits and see what we think.
Cool.
Sticking with the CB12, let's get some toe strikes.
definitely toey. I mean, that's off the face toey. Too toey?
No, that's pretty good. Similar pattern. You've been closing the face a lot today anyway, haven't you? So
Yes.
it was a little bit of a pull, but it was very toey and 101 carry. So arguably you would say you wouldn't notice a drop off on course with that, really, would you?
No, and if I'm honest, that felt like it did feel like I missed the grooves. Toey. It was really toey. Apart from making a bit of a horrible sound, which most clubs are at that far at the toe, it's obviously performed pretty well. That was probably a slightly cleaner strike, but definitely toey. I mean, that's actually quite impressive.
13mm toe, and again, same thing. It's 101 carry. So I'd say realistically, from some of the better shots we were seeing, 105, 106 maybe, you're losing maximum half a club, you know, which you'd still be on green.
That was a really nice swing, and I have towed it.
I mean, there's literally like 3 in a row there at 101 carry. Yeah, that's 3 different strikes there, all slightly toe, but I mean, carried 101, 101, 102. You know, that's fairly consistent, isn't it? And okay, spin jumps around a little bit because of just actual strike height and how well we're actually hitting it. But yeah, I mean, standard deviation front to back 0. It's pretty solid, that, mate.
105 being a really good shot, like 101, 102, like it's really good. Like, it's not really dropping off at all.
Do you want to grab the Vokey quick?
While I'm in the groove.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, that's toey.
I mean, the contact sounded not bad in terms of, again, the mat interaction. Sounded good. I mean, 9mm toe. Okay.
Getting it?
Not dramatically toey, but we had one 8mm toe with the CB12, didn't we? Which I think carried 102.
Yep.
Yeah, so that one there with the CB12, 8mm toe, 102. That one was what, 9mm toe, carried 101. Yep, 9mm toe there, carried 101. So from about 8-9mm in the toe, they're the same.
That was really toey. Again, it's done well though.
Yeah, 16mm toe.
Yeah.
So again, arguably not as bad as that first one that we had with the CB12. But again, we had one at, was it 13-14mm toe with the CB12, which again, they all carried around the same, 101, 102. So that one there with the Vokey, 16mm toe carrying 103. Again, like no drop off.
Yeah. It's a very similar story, isn't it? Like 30.8 launch, almost 9,000 spin. It's the drop off's basically exactly the same, and so is the launch and spin. It's basically maintaining, isn't it?
I actually don't feel like there's a dramatic difference in performance between these wedges, in all honesty.
No, and I just feel like, for me, if I was, you know, picking between those two options, it would really be based a lot on the feel and the turf interaction for me. That's got to be toey. Yeah.
Didn't sound great, in fairness.
look at the result.
They always fly about the same, don't they?
Basically the same.
Yeah. There you go, 19mm toe. So again, arguably a couple of mil better than the one we had with the CB12. But I mean, you really are toe bashing that quite badly. Similar launch, more spin if anything, and 101 carry. So yeah, I mean, we have done this a lot, right? I think, yeah, you see the mark on the...
You can actually see it is literally between the dots. That's almost off the face, but yeah, it's wild.
I mean, if anyone's followed us for a long time, we've done this a lot with blades and game improvements and cavity backs and all that kind of stuff. We do the mishit testing just because we want to show you guys, right? But we never find there's a dramatic difference in almost any club, really, in terms of the drop-off relative to a good one, which is where we always say forgiveness is, you got to take it with a pinch of salt, in all honesty. Fit based on delivery and speed, not handicap and forgiveness, because it's a bit irrelevant, really. Right, Vokey, he also just swing it normally, basically.
Just trying it out of the middle then, yeah. See, that's close. That's close to a hosel, is what I mean.
Yeah, that's, again, done remarkably well, hasn't it? Didn't sound like an amazing connection. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, that was really, I mean, that was close to a hosel, yeah.
I don't know how that wasn't a shank, to be honest. Like 21mm heel, that is borderline shank, and that still carried 96 yards.
And hit the green.
And hit the green. Yeah, that's super impressive.
Yeah.
Like,
and we've got the green aiming line pointing right at the green. It's still caught the edge. That's mad.
It's gone dead straight, isn't it?
It's mad, yeah.
96 carry, and that was, 1 or 2 mil more, that would have been a shank. How was that?
Yeah, that's really good.
Well, in terms of like strike was good? Or
Yeah, as in I got a feel for trying to hit it in the heel there. I've hit it way heely.
Wow, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, but actually struck it.
So yeah, again, 16mm heel, 101. Wow, that's done really well. Okay, so a semi-shank will still carry about 96 yards. But when we heel it just on the face, carries basically the same as a toe miss hit, 101. So you're getting, again, a similar 4 or 5 yard drop off. Like,
yeah.
Super impressive.
And that's like, that's coming from like what a lot of people would say is like a bladed wedge.
Yeah, yeah.
Wild. I mean, that is forgiving.
I mean, come on then, try and give us a couple with a CB12 in and around that 16 to 18mm heel, and let's just to see.
That could be it. Yeah.
That did sound heely.
That's really good.
101 carry. What? What a shock. Yeah, I mean, that was almost identical to where you just hit that Vokey.
You said you wanted 16mm heel, didn't you, mate?
Yeah, that is impressive. Everyone's going to be calling you Tom the Robot now. My Ross the Robot's going to be resigned. But yeah, and 101 carry, right? So again, we thought we'd chuck in a couple of heels there just to kind of show you. I mean, out the toe, out the heel, out the middle, like the drop-offs on mishits. You've hit some high, some low.
Yep.
We've hit heel, we've hit toe, we've hit some good ones.
Have we?
Apart from, well, we've not hit many good ones, but but the out-and-out performance, okay, it's going to come down to fitting more so. We're, again, trying to take the human element out of this as much as we possibly can. The Vokey view is a much better wedge, I think, in my honest opinion. But the out-and-out performance across the face on a good one is basically no different.
Yeah. I mean, it highlights the importance of fitting even in the wedges, right? Like, so a lot of people I find, they just go and buy a wedge off the rack because they think it's the right loft or whatever. But I think for me, the sole design, the bounce, the grinds, I think, you know, there's so many options now. I would be definitely coming and testing.
Yeah.
Get fit.
Yeah.
Because and even though those are going to go roughly the same number, roughly the same amount of forgiveness, they're very different to swing for me.
Yes, yeah. I would agree. I found it much harder to strike the CB12.
It's interesting.
I found it way easier with the Vokey. We have to be careful what we say because we're saying there's no difference, but there's no difference if you can strike them the same.
Yes.
You know, but it's that if you can strike them the same.
Yeah.
Whereas the ability to strike it better, I found it way easier with the Vokey. You found it way easier with the Vokey. So I think the sole design, the bounce, etc., is a better fit and just easier to strike better, more consistent, and that will obviously lead to better scores. That's a better fit for you. But yeah, it's just an interesting test, isn't it, to see, is there any more forgiveness? Is there any benefit? And for you, I would definitely say there is not, no.
No, absolutely not. And yeah, go and get fit.
So we just hit a set from 75 yards, both with 56-degree wedges, and this is the average data. So yeah, I'll just let you have a little look at that and take that in. Again, in fairness, I mean, even that spin, the spin deviation with the Vokey is tighter, and we did have to take a few shots out of the CB12 because the same problem as you had with hitting full shots, you had with that. It just wasn't as consistent. You were struggling to find good contact with the CB12. The Vokey was better for you.
Yeah. Yeah, just managing that low point just doesn't feel as easy with the CB12 to me.
No, exactly that. But again, having taken a few bad shots out with that, trying to equalize and make it a fair data set. So strike for strike, hit for hit. What is the performance? The performance is the same. So, I mean, we might, a fraction higher launch, right? Which we saw with the full shot as well.
We did,
but,
yeah,
to be
fair.
Real world scenario, real world end results is going to be absolutely no different there, really. So again, it's exactly the same scenario. It's which product fits you better. Which product do you feel like you can get club on ball better, more consistent contact. That's going to create more consistent spin, distance control. You found it much easier with the Vokey, distance control.
Yep.
You know, so again, it's not an out-and-out performance perspective when it comes to wedges. It's a fitting element. Like what wedges fit you better, that's going to give you more consistent numbers. That's literally all it comes down to. So there you go, a very interesting test there. So let us know what you thought in the comments below. As always, the takeaway, the reality is you just got to get fitted. That's the only way, really, how you're going to know what works best for you. You've got to go and get fitted. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed that video. As always, stay tuned. Loads more coming. Please do subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.